What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the STR Investing Podcast. I'm your co-host, Mark Lumpkin, and in this Monday Market Data Report, we're breaking down Catskills, New York, about 100 miles north of New York City. This is where rich, fancy people go to feel like they're actually out in the wilderness. Pretty popular in all seasons. You get the fall foliage. A lot of people like to go up there in the winter and do some skiing. And then you get a pretty big summer rush as well. People getting out of the city, enjoying lake cabins, hiking, fishing, mountain biking, doing all the stuff that they never get to do because they live in a big city full of concrete and metal. And so it's a pretty popular tourist destination. Over the last couple of years, it's definitely become more and more on the radar for investors that are looking for great markets to invest in for short-term rentals. From what I've seen, it's very much a upscale, schwanky type of feel on all these properties, and it's probably time for someone to come in there and mix it up, but haven't seen anybody do it yet. So if that's you, I can't wait to see what you do with your property out there. Anyways, let's get to it. Here's the market data. This is what it tells us bedroom by bedroom, starting with 3 bedrooms in the Catskills. Annual revenue averages in the 50th percentile, $37,000. In the 75th percentile, $56,000. And in the 90th percentile, $76,000. Almost double from the 50% to the 90th percentile. That's the biggest swing I've seen in any of the data sets on submarkets that we've looked at. Average daily rate, you go from 300, 375, and 478, depending on what percentile you fall in. And then occupancy climbs quite a bit as well. So you've got a 50 percentile are averaging 36% occupancy, 75th percentile, 48% occupancy, and 90th percentile is about a 60% occupancy. So in order to achieve that huge revenue difference in 3 bedrooms, you see that the average nightly rate goes up by about $175 a night from 50th to 90th, and the occupancy goes up from 36 to 60. So a huge jump in nightly rate and occupancy. We do not see that very often in a lot of these markets. Catskills off to a heck of a start here. 4 bedrooms. In the 50th percentile is $46,000, 75th percentile, $71,000, and 90th percentile, $100,000. Drastic difference again, over double the revenue from the average earners to the top percentile. Average nightly rate, $420, $550, and $708. So nightly rate goes up quite a bit. Occupancy goes up again. You got a 31 percentile for 50th, 43% occupancy for the 75th percentile, and 55% occupancy for those top percentage of properties. So nightly rate goes up quite a bit in 4 bedrooms, depending on what percentage you're in. It also goes up quite a bit from 3 bedrooms, almost 10 grand on the low end and almost 25 grand on the high end. So a huge bump in revenue depending on what percentile you fall in. And then also if you go from a 3 to a 4 bedroom, occupancy goes up as well. So the wins keep coming the bigger the house gets. 5 bedrooms, 50th percentile goes to 60,000, up from 46,000 in the 50th percentile on 4 bedrooms. So that 5th bedroom has a bigger jump than the 3 to a 4 bedroom. That's pretty interesting. Oftentimes we see those almost consistent, but not in the Catskills. The 75th percentile is 88,000 and the 90th percentile is 129. So we see anywhere from a $15,000 to a $30,000 a year bump from 4 bedrooms to 5 bedrooms. Average daily rate on the 50th percentile is $574, 75th is $772, and 90th is $957. So a huge jump in nightly rate. And then the occupancy is crazy. You go from as low as 27% in the 50th percentile, all the way up to 51% in the 90th percentile for 5 bedrooms. So occupancy from 4 to 5 goes down a little bit, but the nightly rate goes up quite a bit. And the revenue is up huge from 4 to 5 bedrooms, anywhere from $15,000 up to $30,000 more a year. And then here's the big boys, the 6 bedrooms. Annual revenue for a 50th percentile 6 bedroom is $68,000, 75th percentile, $113,000, and 90th percentile, 169 grand if you're the top earners. Average daily rate, 50th percentile is 700, 75th, 988, and 90th is 1370. So a huge jump in average daily rate. Again, we've seen that average daily rate jump from as low as $300 a night on a 3-bedroom all the way up to $1,300 a night on a 6-bedroom in the top percentile. So there's a huge swing in what these properties are bringing per night. Occupancy on 6 bedrooms stays pretty consistent with 5 bedrooms, 28%, 38%, and 47%. So that's pretty consistent, the occupancy from 5 to 6. What drastically changes is the nightly rate and the earning potential. Basically, every time you jump up, you're able to earn $10,000, $15,000, $30,000 more a year based upon going from a 3 to a 4 to a 5 to a 6. And there's just a drastic increase every time you add a bedroom. Hope this was helpful, guys. If you consider investing in the Catskills and you have any questions or you need any help, please let us know. And remember, we're not sponsored by Summer OS, but they do provide our data, and we really appreciate that. They've got some great data, and we're going to bring you another report next Monday. So tune in, and then don't miss this Friday's episode. We've got one of the OGs in the short-term rental space coming on and just bringing us the gospel is the only way I can put it. Telling you exactly how it is, what you need to know, and there's so much wisdom and knowledge jam-packed into this next week's guest on this Friday. Can't wait to see you guys there, and I will see you next Monday for another Monday Market Data Report.